Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to 15 with Fosca, the podcast. My guest today is Jacqueline Harberink. Welcome, Jacqueline.
Welcome. Yes, thank you.
I'm delighted to have you here. You are an artist, and I have many artists on the podcast, but I do think this is I think you are my first Dutch guest.
Okay.
Which I'm really excited about because I'm a huge fan of Holland. And also, I believe you're not my first visual artist, but you are my first artist that works in ceramics. So, and you just gave me a beautiful gift, and I really am touched because first of all, it's an espresso cup, and I'm a coffee addict, as I just told you, but it is such a beautiful object that I don't know that I'll actually be able to drink out of it. I have to tell you right now, it's too pretty.
You should try it, you should use it.
Okay.
It's made to be used.
I know it's made to be used, but it's so gorgeous. And I'm very touched by the gesture, and I'm just very happy to have you here today for our chat. So
thank you.
I mentioned that you are originally from Holland.
Yes.
And I love your story because you pivoted. And I love when people change their lives dramatically the way you did. So I want you to tell me a little bit about your background. I know that you were a lawyer.
Yes.
In Amsterdam.
Exactly.
With a successful career.
Yes.
And then one day.
Yeah, well,
what
actually, it happened that my husband is Italian.
Okay.
He came to live with me in Amsterdam. And then after 12 years in Amsterdam, he said I want to come back to Italy. I miss the mountains. I miss the food, the weather, the usual things.
Usual things that you miss about Italy, yeah.
So I said that's fine, but then find a job, and then we can go. So then he found a job in Rome.
Okay.
And so we went to Rome, lived there for 1.5 years. And since I was specialized in a real estate law,
okay.
I did also work as a real estate agent. So, but it was not something for me.
No, I can imagine.
Yeah,
it's really, it's not fun.
Sorry. So it was not my piece of cake, let's say.
Yeah.
And then his job moved to Milan, so we went to Milan, and I found a job there. I really didn't like my job. It was very boring. And so I said, let's do some workshop in the evening. And I found a workshop, ceramic workshop. So, and I loved it, it was fantastic. So I did another one in the summer. And then we moved to Madrid. And I said okay, that's fine, but I want to do the ceramic school over there. So I did it for 2 years. And then my son was born, and then we came back to Italy again. So, and basically from my home, I lived in the countryside in Fiesole. I started, I bought my first kiln, I bought my wheel, and just started. And with the time, I did some markets and, just start doing it. So having a bit of experience and just starting.
So this story is intriguing for a lot of reasons. First of all, I think it underscores it's very difficult here in Italy to find the kind of work that you find, for example, in the United States where I'm from, or in the Netherlands where you're from. But I love the fact that you saw this need. You were not satisfied with your job, and you said, okay, you know what? I want to do something that's going to maybe feed my soul a little more.
I never did it before.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, but did you have any experience with the visual arts? Had you ever done anything? Nothing.
I didn't even think I was, let's say, creative.
Really?
No.
I love this story.
So I didn't know. No. It was something that came spontaneously.
Oh. That's incredible. And when was there that aha moment of, okay, I want to do this and I can do this with my life? After how long do you think that happened?
Basically, when I had my second child and she went to the primary school, isn't it? When she was 2? No,
Nursery school.
Nursery school, yeah. And then I said, I worked part-time with a friend of mine in Holland, so remote. And she sold her company. Mm-hmm. So that was the moment, and I said, like, I don't want to work for that company anymore. Right. If you're gone, I'm gone too.
Right.
And that was the moment that I had to decide what to do. And I said, like, well, I want to do this, This is what I feel. I want to be better in it, and to start this seriously. So that was basically when I think I would turn 40 or something.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe a bit earlier. No, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how difficult was it to open your studio, your atelier? You have an atelier right by Santa Croce.
Yes, that I decided during COVID.
Ah.
Yeah, because I had my studio next to my house in the countryside, and then with COVID, everybody was at home. So the kids were at home, my husband was at home, everybody at home.
I need to get out of here.
Exactly. So my creativity basically went down. Sorry.
It's okay.
So I felt I didn't have any creativity anymore. And so I decided to do artist residency in Florence, in Numero 20.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, that's in the same street.
Yeah.
So I did it for 3 months. I brought my kiln there. I brought my wheel there and went there every day. And at a certain moment, I saw the shop, let's say the space where I'm now. It was for let, So it was
destiny.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
I think so. So I said, like, this is the moment. I want to try it.
And it's
I
done.
Want to this place.
And it's been, it sounds like it's not only been rewarding, but it's also successful. Being an artist is not easy.
No.
We all know it's not an easy life. How do you sort of, I hate to use the word promote, but how do you give yourself visibility in a place like Florence? And I want to talk about that. We'll talk about that, like the scene in Florence in a bit. But I'm just curious about how once you had made the decision and you opened your atelier, how you got the kind of visibility that you have now.
I think it's there are more ways to. It's a bit. I did like 5 events, big events a year. So like shows. Then through that you have like clients, and then mouth to mouth. That is a big one. Friends, mouth to mouth, and of course, being in the center of Florence, a lot of foreigners pass by as well. Mm-hmm. Then we promoted, there was an idea with another person, artisan in that same neighborhood, Valentina, and we decided basically to put the little shops, artisan shops in that neighborhood from Sant'Ambrogio, Santa Croce together, and to put it in a map, not for tourist map. And so people, when they were asking in my shop, where should I go? Then we said like, I don't remember. Maybe there. And I said like, well, let's make a map, and so we promote each other.
Okay.
So that's also a big publicity. And of course, social media as well.
Social media helps, of course. It always, unfortunately, there are good things and there are bad things, but I think if you're on your own, you're an artist, it gives you a platform. It doesn't cost anything. And people, happen upon it. I want to talk about the map for a second, and because you handed it to me after you handed me the espresso cup, and I had not seen it before. So I'm somebody who talks a lot on the podcast about community.
Yes.
And I love this idea of a map that highlights all the artists and artisans in a particular neighborhood. I think it's brilliant. You are also one of the founders of Female Artists in Florence. Can you talk about that as well?
I did that before I had a shop. So we were 4 of us, and we founded it, and it was just before COVID. And then COVID came, and then basically we were like, okay, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And then we found a space, and basically we worked together promoting female artisans and artists. And we did it for 1 year. And after that, basically, the 4 of us went from different directions. So 2 of us opened a new space.
Okay.
One, she retired, basically.
Okay.
And one continued. So that's, but it's also a community. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think these are fundamental, especially in a city like Florence, where because we do get so many tourists, we get so many temporary visitors, feeling like you're part of something, I think is fundamental.
That's also with the Not for Tourists map, because you feel also as an artisan part of a group. And
it's
that
really
is
important.
very, very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think there's also a lot of strength in numbers. I think that when we help each other and we give each other visibility and support, it's a feeling like, again, like you're part of something bigger.
Exactly.
And that always feels good. I want to talk specifically about your work because it's described as Nordic minimalist, but you're here in Florence. Which is, though, quite a minimalistic city if you compare it to, like, Rome, for example, which is, very Baroque and very different from Florence. Florence tends to be very elegant, very understated, but I wouldn't describe it as, sort of a place where one thinks automatically of something like the genre that your work is described as. How do you reconcile living in a place like Florence with that kind of work that you create?
Well, I think it's come from inside my work. So it's very difficult to say it's coming from outside, from Florence itself. But it's really from something, what I feel inside, the colors I use, the minimalist lines. But I got also... I get inspired by architectural, let's say, patterns.
Okay.
And so I have like the Pantheon in Rome, the ceiling of it, it's on my pots, let's say. Okay. And there are architectural signs of Amsterdam on my pots. So it's a bit from everywhere. So, but yeah, it's... And I think the tactile part of my work is very important because for me, it's not enough. It's only like beautiful or not beautiful, but I think you have to have the whole experience also to feel it in your hands and feel something special. So it's also so important why you need to touch it. I always say, like, please touch my stuff, So that's a sign I have in my
which
in
is
my
nice
shop. Yes.
because it's the opposite of what most signs in a porcelain. The idea of a bull in a china shop. Most people would not want you to be touching their things. But the thing I noticed,
people get surprised by it.
Of course, but people love that though, and I think when you hold an object in your hands, like with the espresso cup that you gave me, which has all these tiny raised dots on it, you know, and it becomes this whole different experience, you know. And how do you talked a little bit about inspiration that you get, and obviously some of it is inside of you and some of it comes from the outside world. But where do you feel inspired?
Well, especially what I said, like about architectural patterns and nature as well.
I was thinking,
of course, because work a lot with organic shapes, let's say, because I felt as a lawyer, I felt a lot, I'm like inquadrata, no? I don't know how you say it, like I'm with square versions.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Very straight and narrow, or, in a very traditional
and so I
profession.
was like, okay, I want to quit with that. I don't make things that are squared,
Fascinating.
Yeah. It always needs to be a bit rounded.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Something that always fascinates me about design. Let's talk a little bit about like function versus beauty.
Yeah.
Because you design everything. You
Yes,
don't just you don't just make, for example, espresso cups or just make dishes. No. You do jewelry. You do a ton of different stuff. Yeah. So when you're crafting an object, what are you thinking about? I mean, in other words, are you thinking about the person who's going to hold it? Are you thinking about your vision for it? Are you thinking about all of these things? Like, yes, I want it to be beautiful, but I also want it to be functional. Yes. So what's sort of your process?
That's for me, I started always with beautiful and functional. Mm-hmm. And now sometimes I'm leaving a little bit the functional part as well. So so it's a process, and it depends also what you're making, of course. But I like to do both. But now I make also things which, they don't have a function, and that's all right.
It's fine. Not everything has to have a function.
So that is, I'm on that way to discover, trying. And what I do as well is I work together with other artists in my shop, let's say. I have like a wall where different artists can show their work. So one of them was also Jules Visser. She was there as well.
I love that.
And Biba as
Wonderful.
Well. Yes. So, and now next Thursday I have a new one, coming. And I make like there's like a little talk for the with the artist, and we do an aperitivo, and it's just coming together and learn something from an artist, from a different one. And the nice thing for me as well is that we try to make works together.
Yeah.
So the collaboration, and then you make something new and something different from a different point of view, different materials. So that's what we do as well.
Oh, I adore this kind of thing, because I love when creatives gather.
Yeah.
And I think
it inspires me as well.
It's inspiring. Yeah. And it's because art is not, our lives shouldn't be static or stagnant, but there's something very magical when artists get together in the same room, and there's that kind of exchange of ideas and
you
thoughts.
Come from different worlds,
and
it's really nice.
Yeah, it inspires you to kind of think a little differently about the work that you're doing as well. Is there something that you really love to work on, or something maybe that you're working on now that surprises you that you didn't think you would ever do and that you're doing?
Well, sometimes I get inspired also by glass works.
Yeah.
So, and for example, I saw something when I was in the Netherlands last Christmas. Mm-hmm. I saw a work in glass, and from that I get inspired, and I'm working on that. But I do it in a different way, of course, and then in porcelain. So yeah, it's nice. You try, you learn, you mistake, and you go on.
Right.
So that is what I like a lot. To discover.
To challenge yourself too.
Yeah, I try always, because of course I work with artists, so there's a lot of things to do as well. But I try one day a week also to have like free playtime. So which gives you the space then, exactly,
the mental space, I think, also to experiment, and then it comes out maybe in different ways in your work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Porcelain is not the most forgiving medium.
No. It's sometimes very frustrating.
I was just going to say, what what makes it most challenging for you?
Because it's, of course, how you say it? I don't get the word. It reduces the size.
Yeah, it shrinks.
Shrinks like 18%, something like that.
Oh.
And it has a memory. So if you touch it when it's raw and, you touch it wrong, let's say, and you say like, okay, I'm going to fix it again. And then after the second firing, you can see where you touched it the first time.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So that's the memory. That is sometimes really frustrating.
But but those, do you keep those in then? I mean, or do you toss the piece? Like, what do you do when that happens?
Sometimes when it's not too much, I see also people like it,
Yeah, well, something unusual, something that has that's a signature in a way,
Exactly, yeah. So, and sometimes the thinner you make it, the more it's going to warp. So, yeah, that's also the beauty about it, So, yeah.
I'm so intrigued by your story, and I keep thinking about it. And this is not a planned question or anything. It's just me wanting to know, what would you say to somebody who maybe is on a more linear path and they feel that they have this creative impulse that they haven't explored when they're at an older age? You weren't old by any means, but
not too young.
But you weren't like 20,
No.
And so what kind of advice would you give to somebody who maybe is on a more traditional career path, but feels like there is something missing?
Well, it's funny that you're asking, because last week I had a woman in my shop and she was working at one of the big companies for phones and so.
Yeah.
And she was more or less my age, I think, or a bit bigger, and older. And she said like, yeah, it's so nice. But she said like, I would never gonna do it. And I said like, well, that's what I said as well. Yeah. I never thought I was creative,
Yeah.
So just push yourself and try it and see what you can do with your life, if you want. Because she felt that she had to change a bit. So so it's nice to stimulate people as well. Because if you don't try, you never know,
Absolutely. And I think it's also just being open to things. You mentioned that there was this workshop, this class in Milan, and you were feeling something was missing and you couldn't really name it.
Yeah.
But I also am somebody who believes that nothing happens by chance.
No, that's true.
Right? Yeah. And it kind of chose you.
Yes. Yes, I think so, yeah, because I don't know what would be my path if I didn't try it,
or what your many paths will be in the future.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is just being open to things and being the type of person,
curious.
Right? Being curious and also just thinking, okay, this doesn't define me, or this isn't ending here. There could be multiple other options for me.
Well, the thing. I think as well, when I stopped as a lawyer, so I went doing that, Italian course and real estate agent for half a year. It was a complete disaster, but okay, and then in Milan, I did that job, what is very boring and like a secretary job. But for me, it wasn't for me. It was very boring. And then I did another job with my friend, and it was creating a community. And but what I saw in doing those experiences that. At a certain point, you become an expert in a thing that you never thought you could be an expert inside for it, So, like, I was in a certain point working with my friends for the automotive sector. Oh. And then I had to give lessons for the automotive sector, me, being a lawyer for it. Yeah, real estate, But I could do it,
Yeah.
So that gave me strength to start something new. I think.
I think that's a great approach to things in general. And I guess what I'm curious about is what Florence gives you as an artist.
Well, I think people come to Florence also to see artisans as well.
Yeah.
Artisans. So there is a lot of curiosity. And I saw when I came here a lot of bottega, no?
Yeah.
Working and selling together. And there's a big tradition of it. So, and you see also a lot of people coming from other countries learning something new.
Craft. Yeah,
learning craft. Yeah. And then some stay here as well, working as a craft person.
Yeah.
And I think that gives a lot of energy for me. And it's also giving the beauty of making something by hand. It's so important.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of, you can see handwork is such giving such much more. So giving much more like a soul in a piece than something you buy at IKEA or something. You know?
Of course.
So I think that is. Florence gave me that, was that school for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to stay here for a second. I want to ask you two questions, but I'll break them down. I'll do one and let you answer, and then I'll do the other one. There's a lot of debate now about artisans in Florence because a lot of historic artisans are closing, are shutting their doors because there is no one to carry on the tradition or because they're just being, priced out of their rental space by, people who can afford to pay higher rents.
Yeah.
What is your view on how we can? I'm very keen on doing whatever I can to save Florence's traditions, to help artisans, to highlight this the way you literally did 2 minutes ago. It's the beating heart of this city.
Yes, and it's also attracting people to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I can't say I feel like helped by Florence itself, let's say. So, no, we did,
the map
ourselves, and that is helping each other.
Yeah.
And, maybe there are ways that I don't know, but I don't feel really helped by the
administration.
No.
Do you think they should do more? Do you think it's their responsibility? I think it. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest.
Well, it's attracting people to the city as well, and it's. I think it's a tourism that is interested in quality. So, I think it's a way to promote Florence as a quality city and also to have quality tourists.
Yeah.
So, they could help more.
They could help also because there are a couple. I mean, first of all, highlighting, for example, historic artisans is fundamental, but also I think people tend to think of Florence and say, Renaissance art. But to show that there's actually a really vibrant contemporary art scene with people who are creating every day is something that should be showcased, I think, because,
I think so, yeah. I think so. But, for example, when I was looking for a space, I went to Manifattura Tabacchi. They were offering a lot of spaces. But it was so expensive that you said, okay, who can pay this, So it's impossible as a starter to get a space over there. So I think that is missing, and then it depends on the landlord, from the spaces in the city.
Absolutely. 100%.
So it's also something ethical. So who do you want to rent out your space to?
Yeah, I think...
Is it only eating food or stupid supermarkets, let's say, or,
Right. And that unfortunately has been a problem.
Yes.
It's been a problem in terms of commercial. I talk a lot on the podcast about, rents becoming prohibitive for families.
Yes. Yeah.
But the same thing is happening with
artisans
well. and
Little
small
shops.
business owners.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
I've been here a long time. But when I first moved here, when I first was here as a student, the majority of businesses here were family-owned small businesses, lots of artisans.
That's Italy, huh?
Yeah, it's the backbone of the country.
Exactly.
And I don't know, even just I would say the post-pandemic really has been a game changer.
You lose a bit the soul if you lose them of the city.
Exactly. We need to do something, Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Let's do something. We'll do something. Even sort of the map is already a brilliant starting point, but I think a lot could be done.
Yes,
to really
I think so.
To really underscore the important work you're all doing, and how important it is to show that a city is not just a tourist place. It's a place where artists can thrive and can, do their work. And, it's important. So my other question is a pretty big one.
Wow.
Well, I think about this kind of stuff a lot, but you kind of mentioned when you were talking about the sort of the meticulous work you do with porcelain. I mean, this is something, if you think about today's world, right, it's so speed driven and, AI and, it seems so poetic and beautiful that you work in such a slow way, if you will.
Yes.
So what kind of value do you see in the kind of work you do in the world today where so many people are saying, well, AI will be able to do that, or, you could just do this with, why would you spend so much time? I'm sure you have a piece that you've worked on that has not turned out the way you wanted it to, and you've spent probably a really long time on it.
I remember already.
Yeah.
One. Yes.
So why is it so important now that we have art in this moment that we are creating?
Because we are humans. And I think we just need human connections, So we are connected, socials or whatever, but we need a human approach, empathy, and then maybe synergy, or and you're not going to be happy with only technical connections. So if you want to feel well, you need something human. And I see a lot of requests for workshops and stuff because people want to work with their hands. So a lot.
Do you do that? Is that something you do?
Sometimes, yes. Not a lot because I don't have the time. Yeah. But people like to work with their hands because they need something, they're missing something, I think, because it's only the material thing is not enough, So, and what I see as well, that people appreciate a lot to have a little talk when they come in the shop.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, how nice it is to find you.
Yes.
And talk to you.
Have a little talk and knowing the story, and they come back and say like, oh, okay, do you remember me from last year? Come back again because I had such a nice experience bringing friends or something. So you see that people like that as well. It's a human thing, no? Having a little talk. So not feeling a number, but person.
Yeah. Gosh, we've lost that a lot.
Yeah.
Just
like going to the market and
having a conversation and just having those daily interactions. Yes. But a lot of people don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of people order everything online.
Exactly.
Avoid human contact if they can.
And it's also, I see sometimes people, they're a couple and one is looking in the shop and the other one is looking only on the phone, and they don't listen to each other because, there's no connection. So it's like, okay,
No, I think we're at a real tipping point. I don't know how old your kids are. My daughter's 18 and
My son almost.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And my
Actually,
daughter's smaller.
I have a lot of faith in the new generation because,
Me too.
right?
Yes.
Because I actually see them as resisting technology a little. There's a bit of a backlash now.
Yeah.
And I really hope that they stay true to that.
Yes.
Because, the way
they're leaving a bit the socials
they're
as well.
Right?
Yeah.
And because I think that they realize that nothing can replace that kind of human contact. And nothing can replace, for example, the beauty of walking into a place and being surprised.
Yes.
And experiencing it and not just experiencing it on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
Walking into your atelier and being able to have a conversation with an artist. Those are the kind of things that change your vacation. Right?
Yeah, I think that people have that feeling. And for me itself as well, if I go somewhere and I have a nice talk with a person and I see them working with their hands, of course it changes my holiday as well.
Yeah.
So that's a little contribute to a little bit of more happiness maybe.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's the goal, right? Let's try to be as happy as possible because,
a bit of beauty. We need a bit of beauty.
Yeah, no, 100%.
These ugly.
These are really ugly times.
So we need a bit of beauty.
Mm-hmm. And you should
bringing a bit of beauty is very nice
huge,
to do. Yeah.
Jacqueline, it's huge. You're doing, I think, artists are more important than ever now.
Yes.
Because you give, I think it gives hope.
Yeah.
And even just a touch of beauty can really change the way you live your life.
Yes.
If you are dedicated to beauty, surrounded by it, if you're producing it, I think at the end of the day, you feel good about what you're putting out into the world. You're bringing a smile to people's faces.
Yes, and you don't overproduce because you produce what you need or what people order. So that's also...
It's also sustainable.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, you talked a little bit about earlier in the podcast that you had dabbled in, you had seen this glass piece when you were in the Netherlands and you were inspired by that. But are there other things that you think you would be curious to pursue? Now that you've seen that you are a creative and that you've made your life out of being creative, is there something that you would like to try?
Well, I want to try that part which is making art and not necessarily to be used. So that path I'm gonna try more. Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that playing part, let's say.
Yeah, the part that gives that real freedom of artistic expression.
Yeah, well, you need to work on your own career and change as well. So
we evolve, and as a consequence, our art or whatever we produce evolves as well.
Yeah.
We've come to our last question, which is the question that I ask all my guests. But I'd like to know, maybe you've hinted at it a little, but I'd like to know what's next for you and for your business, your atelier.
I hope to... I'm almost 5 years now here in this space, and I hope to do another 5 years here. And involving, of course, making more beautiful art if it's possible. And, a bit of use and not for use, let's say. So, but that part of not for use or not meant to be, let's say, I would like to grow a bit in that.
Yeah. Develop that part of you a little more. I think that sounds wonderful.
And what I do as well is I work with interns from ceramic schools.
Oh, good. When we were talking about workshops, I was like, I really hope you're mentoring young people because it's so important.
Yeah, and that is nice as well, I must say, to help them. And it's not always about the making process, what they learn. It's more about how to deal with a workshop, let's say, or with how to work with people, how to manage, And of course, giving them a bit of courage to start for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so important. I'm so glad that you work with you. I'm a firm believer in mentorship and how we really need to help others, because one thing I do see in this generation that I worry about is especially the kids who kind of got caught in the pandemic years, which a lot of which our kids did, is that there is a little more resistance to they're just a little, not all of them, but of course there's sort of they're a little more timid than let's say we were. There's a little less of that ease of just speaking to people. I think we were raised in a way where it was like, you just go ask somebody, you know, or you just go do this, or, you know, and this, I think that's not easy for a lot of young adults right now.
Yes.
And
that's true.
And it's important that they see, for example, I think it's very inspiring for a young person, whether they're considering a creative career or not, but all the things you just described are fundamental skills to succeed in life.
Yes, of course.
Being able to have a conversation is pretty big.
Just to encourage them. That I see they need it often. That's the only thing that I think it's important with when they do the internship with me, to give them the encouragement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you for doing that. I think it's so important. I want to do a workshop with you. I have no. I famously say that I have never ever let myself try to be artistic in that way. I'm creative in other ways, but I mean, I cook. That's what I do with my hands. That's like my creative thing that I do with my hands. But I do feel that need, you know.
Just try.
I'm going to. I think we should. I know you don't do many because you don't have time, but we're part of the same women's group. We met through WIN.
Yes.
So let's a big plug for the Women's International Network, because it's like the best group in Florence. But maybe we could talk about organizing a little something.
Yes. Yeah.
Not
for
huge.
WIN members?
Yeah. I think we should do this. I think that's what's next for both of us. Yes. And that's very selfish. It's because I want to do it.
Okay.
It's because I want to do it. But I have a feeling a lot of other people want to do it too. And you'll like this because my daughter's going to college next year. And I said to her, please don't make the same mistake I made. I never took any kind of art class. Not I did art history and things like that. But that's the beauty of an education, right? You try things that you don't. And she said, you know what I really want to try? Ceramics. So I might just have her, maybe we'll come by and we'll visit you.
Okay.
And you'll be able to inspire her a little. But let's talk about the workshop.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you very much.
I've loved talking to you. Yeah. No, really, I think your story is a really inspiring one. And I hope our listeners are inspired to do something that they never thought that they would do after hearing this.
I hope so too.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Bye.